Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are out there, it's time for another episode of Train Talk from Milepost 141. This is the SoundTraxx Soundbites podcast coming to you from 141 Burnett Drive in Durango, Colorado. If any of you guys didn't know, that's actually our manufacturer ID number as well. And so that was when we bought the property. We saw 141, we had to get it, we bought it, and then now we're in it. Basically, we built our building going on almost 10 years ago, which is crazy to me.
Beautiful.
Time flies. Feels like it's still new.
It's new to me.
Yeah, it is new to you. But anyway, so we built the building, and so we're playing a whole lot of puns here with that 141, with Train Talk from Milepost 141, which is our SoundTraxx manufacturer ID number and NMRA DCC, as well as our physical address. So we're having a lot of fun with that. I am George Bogatuk, as many of you guys know. I've been here, I turned 17 here in October, which is crazy. Again, time flies when you're having fun, I guess. So I've been here 17 years, and so most of you guys probably know me. To my left over here.
Right.
Left,
right.
To my left over here, I've got Tom Austin. He's our new support rep, and he's been doing fantastic. I tell you what, I'm so glad he's here. Sure has made my life a lot easier, especially helping all of you folks out there with your tech support questions and everything. So
I've got a great teacher. So
where?
right here.
Who?
But
well,
yeah, I've enjoyed it, and it's nice to interact with the folks and
Yeah.
talk to people on the phone and talk to fellow model railroaders like ourselves and help them with their issues. And I learned something too.
Yeah, and that's one of the best parts is that when you're helping them figure out how to do something. Sometimes in your mind you get this idea and go, wait a minute, I can use that for XYZ.
Absolutely.
I remember, this goes back a while, but when we were doing our verification tests for the Tsunami 2. Now, those books are large, and we go CV by CV, value by value, and it is just tedious work. It's not difficult, it's just you're sitting there programming CV numbers over and over and over and over again and changing things to make sure that you don't break the decoder or cause some other irreparable damage before we ship that product out.
Right.
So we do a lot of that work here in-house. But when I'm doing that, that was what was interesting with some of the lighting features we came up with were on-off brilliance 1 and on-off brilliance 2. And so when I'm testing these, I was like, ooh, this could be used for number boards, or this could be used for class lights without having to fool around with calculating resistor values. It's literally, whoop, my phone went to sleep. It's literally just playing around with CV numbers and settings, and so you can get the decoder to do what you want it to do just by changing CVs, and so that's what's always fun. And so so in your case, by helping people out, that's a fantastic benefit of doing your job, because then you get to kind of be a little selfish, for lack of a better term, because you're also thinking, oh wow, I can get my decoder to do that too.
Exactly. I mean, I take notes when I help you guys out there to call in, and it's a lot of times if I can't answer the question right away, I'll either check with George most of the time, and then I'll research it myself and I'll write it down. We've had a lot of interesting questions that's come in, and we've been able to hopefully solve all those problems, most of them, at least 99% of them, and at the same time I learned myself.
Yeah.
And applied it there, like the Brilliance 1, Brilliance 2, or those things work great. Brightness.
Yep. So with that in mind, you've got a pretty new engine there.
Yep.
So let's see what did you do to this thing?
This is a Athearn Genesis factory decorated Jeep 38-2 from their last run. It came with the LEDs. I did take the 21 pin board out of it and put Blue Nami plug and play 8 in it.
Okay.
It has the standard Athearn sugar cubes in it in series.
Okay.
So I left those in there because I thought they sounded just fine. And it also keeps that 2 watts that you need for your 2 watt decoder output. Yep. So it keeps it nice and cool and sounds great. It has the classification lights on it set up. It has, turn those on. I've used it's brightness 1 on these.
Okay.
And then I've got the ground lights or truck lights. They're brightness 2.
Okay.
Because I want them a little dimmer watching your videos and stuff.
Yep.
George is the catalyst for a lot of this stuff, guys. So, and then number boards, you can barely see them, but they're on.
Nope, you can see them.
Yeah, they washed out on one of the videos, and Gerald Ames, shout out to Gerald. Gerald said, "Hey man, those are really bright. You can't see the numbers on them." Still, I said, so I brought them down as low as I could, and I matched them. They're the same brightness as the truck lights.
Okay.
So these are the classification lights are brightness 1, and the brightness 2 that George just alluded to are the number boards and the truck lights.
Okay.
And then you got your headlight, of course, is your standard headlight, and it's basically set the same way, and then you got your dimmer. You can dim it down.
Right.
And
Awesome.
you notice it. So all that stuff can be customized in there. The engine itself, like I said, has the Blue Nami plug and play 8. It has 1K ohm resistors in there, wired with the shrink tubing and stuff on it, and then the wire management, as George pointed out. I was watching it, refreshing myself in a video this morning with the shrink tubing used as wire management. I use styrene tubing, which is not flexible. So if you do something like I do it, you got to make sure you got clearance to put it in there. George's, on the other hand, his will actually flex with the wiring because our wiring is very flexible. So it's actually advantageous, especially in tight areas up here, like in the cab and then through the floorboard and stuff like that of the interior. But yeah, and so it's basically, the other thing I did to it is Athearn came out with new handrails for the GP15s, and I bought some extra ones from their parts department at Horizon, and because a lot of Missouri Pacific engines had the solid handrails, so that always bugs people like me and George. So I changed those out and put those on there and of course painted the railings when I renumbered this one. This one represents a renumbered post 1974 Jeep 38-2 when Mopac went to the horsepower number series, and then you can see there's a slight change in the shade of blue where the hood number is. So this used to be, in theory, a 3-digit number, like an 850 series or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they renumbered them in 74. So this one got a patch. And then these numbers were made by PDC.ca, Billy Brillinger, or we call him Billy Cows for the win. Bill did those for me, and he did the number boards for me. So we got the Mopac font on that, and then on the back. So
nice.
And other than that, she's basically stock Athearn.
Okay.
And we're waiting for George's weathering video, and then it's going to get a little dirty.
Yeah, I just started shooting that this past week. So,
can't wait.
I got 2 parts done. I'm going to do part 3 and then part 4 of, and I shouldn't say part, it's like segment 3, 4 of this. So I'm going to do, I did the airbrush weathering a couple days ago, last 2 days ago, I don't remember. All the days are blurring together. I mean, one thing is we are a little late on getting this one out, partially because it's just been so busy,
right? Which
is great, but it means we're taking time away from helping you guys with your phone calls, taking orders, getting product out there, and it's been busy. I mean, a lot of people are looking at Blue Nami, got him hooked, and he's helping, of course. Yes. But point is that I started shooting that one day or 2 ago.
Yep.
And so I'm going to go in either tonight as we're shooting this or tomorrow, do some hand painting with oils to kind of really give it some accents to it.
Right.
And then the last part, we'll show you how I add those magnetic air hoses and the magnetic MU cables from North American Car Company / Pacific Western Rail Services up there in Vancouver.
And those are next. Those are,
yeah.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, so he's going to add those to it as well.
I love it. I mean, running on George's layout and like that, these things just really make an impression on you. Not just the videos, but the operations of it, and adding those little details that just matter because he's that guy.
Yeah, because I'm the guy that goes through and changes all my wheel sets to the animated roller bearings.
Absolutely.
And so when I start working on my Coltrane, that's going to be a pain because that's 55 trucks that I'm going to have to change out under those Exactrail 37 hoppers.
And the air hoses.
And I'm going to add the air hoses, and I've got weights.
One awesome looking train.
I've got special made weights for them as well to help add to them, because they're a very light car.
Yeah.
They look fantastic, but they're very light, especially without a load. Now, of course, you put a load in there, you can put all kinds of weight in that thing.
Right.
And I tend to usually being the key word, weigh my cars a little heavier than what the NMRA recommends, because I think NMRA, and you may know this, is a half ounce for the car, and then or an ounce for the car and a half ounce for each inch of length.
Right.
I do an ounce for the car and an ounce for each inch of length. So my cars are pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I was sharing this with a fellow customer, friend of mine, that not long ago, and he was saying, "Aren't you going to wear out the wheels?" It's like, well, not really any more than you would before.
No.
I mean, they're still going to wear, especially if you're running, museums, things like that.
Right.
Those things see some miles,
Right.
and those things wear out.
Right.
But if you're just running them on your home layout or a club layout occasionally, you're never going to notice the difference. And if you damage the truck because you've weighted a little heavier, I'd be shocked.
Well, yeah, you probably will wear the inside of the plastic journal before you wear the other thing. And like you said, that'd be continuous hours of operation.
Correct. But with the animated roller bearings, it's that metal axle that's going through, and there's a plastic snap that it goes into so that the axle end will rotate.
Yeah.
And that's all that
pretty robust.
Celcon type plastic. So I've never had any issues with it. And I've been doing this since I was a kid, folks.
It's a pretty robust too. That truck assembly, it's pretty robust assembly anyway. With the axle popped in there, you're not going to have any issues with it.
No. And those things probably can handle much more weight than even I'm putting on there.
Yeah, sure.
Without any massive wear.
And they'll look fantastic.
And they do look fantastic. But the problem is those trucks have painted are colored trucks.
Right.
So I've either got to talk to my friends at Tangent and see if I can get them to make me a custom run of colored trucks.
Match that.
Dave, if you're listening.
Yeah. Iron oxide. Match them to iron oxide true color paint, Dave. It'd be perfect for George.
And him, because you're talking about doing it now too.
Yeah, but leave me out of that.
I
think he likes you more than me. So. I don't want Dave. Dave, it's for George.
I like me more than you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that stands to reason. There's a lot of people like that.
But anyway, I'm looking at trying to do that, but I haven't made it a priority because with my small layout, as you guys have seen, there's not really much room for a Coltrane. You came over when those engines took a dive, which is my segue. We ran a Coltrane. How many cars was it?
5. 4 or 5.
I thought it was 2.
No, there was 5.
Okay, maybe it was. I don't know.
It was a decent.
It was a small train.
It was a 3-hour operating session though. It was great, and it was a blast.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
But anyway, with that was the week that those engines of mine took the dive off the layout when I was blind because I was an idiot and wasn't paying attention what I was doing. Walked into the side of the layout, and the cars took a dive.
This was one of the victims, wasn't it?
And this was one of the victims. And so you can see she's here and up and running. And I'm going to move the camera 2 over here for those of you guys on video. It almost was a good bad thing. It certainly was a bad thing because it took a dive. A lot of parts broke off. If any of you guys see this, I'll show this in a still overlay. But this is the old headlight casting. And you can see where it took a bend and dive on the visor on top of it and scratched off a bunch. And and it just sheared the wires to the LED clean off. But that was a pretty bad hit because it fell off and I guess it went down. But it also broke off my injectors. It broke off the headlight. The bell was gone. I am so thankful that it didn't break off the class lights, because that's one of my favorite things of this. And if I can get my fingers to cooperate with me, when I did this model, one of the things that I did was that I had separate class lights. So I had white class lights, or clear. So those of you watching on video, you can see this and it illuminates. And then I turn that off and turn on the green class lights, because in the steam era, scheduled trains were a thing.
Right.
And we've covered this in one of our ops videos on our YouTube channel, but we did white is an extra, extinguished is the scheduled train.
Right.
And yeah, your class lights are white or clear. And then green was a scheduled train with a following section. And so about 15 minutes later, expect another part of that same train.
Right.
And that was to indicate to anybody coming in, hey, wait for train number, whatever it was in the time of the steam, that if they saw this green class light, they were saying this is the train you're waiting for, but there's another section, because if they go after this train passes, they're going to cause a major problem.
Yeah.
And people's lives were on the line. So these indicators were important.
Cornfield meat.
Exactly. But somewhere in the 60s is where they started going to where they rescheduled everything, and basically the passenger trains were the only scheduled trains, and everything else was written up as an extra, and hence why on my diesels, your diesels, we all put just the regular white class lights. I did a whole video series on our operation series 101 on our YouTube channel, so be sure to check that one out. But as you can see, I've recovered this mostly.
Beautiful.
And it's beautiful. And where I'll say it was a good thing is that, one of the things about this headlight, and it's very evident, is that the number boards are cast into it. So it's a very solid piece. The only thing I could illuminate was the actual headlight. Well, if those of you guys watching on video take a look at, you can see that I've actually got the headlight illuminated. But then if you come around here to the side, you can see that the number board is actually illuminated as well.
Incredible.
And that's awesome, because the new casting that I got from Precision Scale actually has this all cord and with clear lenses. So literally I didn't have to do much, except
make the number boards.
Except I had to make the number board decals. But me knowing me, I had to go that extra mile. And one of the things I was asking some questions of guys that are much more knowledgeable in steam was, is the number boards on a headlight on the steam locomotive just illuminated from the main headlight itself? Mm-hmm. And the consensus answer I got was no. There's actually separate lights in the number boards.
So there are in there too, aren't there?
So, of course, I did. I had to.
You're that guy.
I am that guy. So when I come over here,
it's awesome too.
And I turn off the headlight,
you still got the
you'll hear the dynamo kick off, and so the dynamo goes away. You can see here on the camera, my headlight is extinguished, but look, those number boards are still illuminated. And so I don't know if I want to share how I did that.
No, that's awesome. I can tell you this. I mean, I got a set of visors we use to work on the small parts and locomotives like our Blackstone stuff, but I had to put those on just to see those numbers.
Yeah.
But now you can clearly see them lit up. They're
once they're
perfect.
lit, it's very evident.
Perfect.
But anyway, so that ended up being a benefit. Now the downside. How did I do it?
Yeah.
I separated them. There's two lights in there. But what's really cool is that it's hard to see, and hopefully it'll come through on camera, is if you look behind the headlight in the casting itself, you don't see any wires. Because what I did was I drilled into the base. So this headlight casting is two pieces. You have the mount and the headlight assembly. And so what I did was I actually drilled into the base plate a hole and ran the wires down through it, rather than just gluing them to the backside and in.
Wow.
So where this piece goes into the smoke box through the slot, the wires come out through the middle of the two pins that hold it in place.
Yeah, so you don't even you won't see anything.
So you don't see anything.
Right. That's fantastic.
And so I was real happy with the way this turned out. But if anybody wants to know how to separate it in that, I'm just going to say one word. Paint. Paint. Now, onto the downside. For whatever reason, when this thing took a dive, I'm not sure what's happened, but man, the mechanism on this thing, I'm going to have to take it apart. The good news is I have a sacrificial lamb that can be a parts guinea pig.
Right.
But man, that means I got to take all this apart. The good news is that most of the lights that are on the locomotive itself are part of the locomotive shell. And since I used the Decoder buddy in it, when we talked about this engine the last time, it just pulls right off. Right. And I can take that locomotive shell out of the way,
right,
and then work on the mechanism. Now, if anybody's familiar with these Bachmann locomotives, there's actually two halves to the mechanism. You have the upper half, which is mostly the weight, the drivetrain, the motor, and then you have the lower half, which is the gears and the wheels and the side rods and all that. So they separate apart. So what I got to do is take this thing apart again, try to figure it out. And I've been playing with CV settings, and just to kind of show you, this is some of the best I got it. Just to move it forward a little bit. And it's kind of noisy, but you can see it's really kind of jerking a little bit. And so I'm not sure what happened when it fell. So this is why I think I got to take it apart and try to find out why, because you can see it's jerking really badly.
Yeah.
And I didn't initially. I had it running smooth, and if anybody wants to see that, if you go to my personal YouTube channel, Goalie George, one word, and I did a short video, it was maybe about 15, 20 minutes long, where I ran this with 2 Jeep 38s as part of a quote-unquote excursion train.
Yeah.
And that thing was running smooth as silk. And it was quiet, it was running great, so something in there is different, and I got to figure out why, and I got to take it apart. So it's a little frustrating. The thing is that it can happen to anybody, and so we
ran it that day.
We were running
it the day it took the dive, because he ran it from one side, brought it over there, and put it in the yard.
Yeah,
that's
it was
where
running
she
smooth as
sitting
silk
whenever she got hit.
And so when it hit the ground, and of course I fixed it up and just put it on the track and started running it, that's when it was really doing it really bad. And I was like, okay, something else is damaged that I haven't found yet.
Maybe like an axle, or
it could be an axle. It could be maybe something. Maybe it messed up something at the side rods, and maybe it messed up something in the. Because these are what is known as a belt drive. So the motor comes out and has a cogged wheel and has a belt that comes down, and that's how they build this separation into the boiler, separate from the frame underneath.
Okay. So something could be slightly askew in there, and it's making the belt.
It very well could be something like that. So unfortunately, it means I got to take it apart. But with all the wires tucked in perfectly and nice and neat, it's just, I really don't want to do it again, but I'm going to have to. But the point is that, I mean, I know it's not the decoder, because the decoder was running fine before, and you can see it starts off okay.
Sounds great.
It sounds wonderful.
Oh, man.
And,
Mopak's steam power is very handsome engines. They're just a beautiful steam locomotive.
And what's funny about this is actually factory lettering on it, with the exception of the MP on the dome, and of course the number boards here.
Right.
Otherwise, I didn't do anything to it.
Bachmann did a great
job on this Spectrum engine.
And their engines, their Spectrum steam especially, really, really nice engines. Operate well. So I'm confident you'll be able to.
Yeah, I just need, like I said, I have a sacrificial lamb that I can take it, because the front smoke box was damaged.
Yeah.
And so this is actually the replacement smoke box front off the parts engine, basically. So, but anyway, so that works out. So the good news is that I was able to improve it. The bad news is there's something in the mechanism that's askew, so I got to take it apart again. But don't be afraid to go back in and try to fix stuff, because when you encounter something like this, it's a setback, it's frustrating, but it's not the end of the world.
No.
Things can be fixed. So if I have to replace the motor, I'll have to replace the motor, and I tucked all the wires in there once, I'll do it again. It's not,
Yeah, you can do it. I mean,
you did that.
It's not
difficult.
You couldn't even tell that thing took a dive. That thing's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it got enhanced. It got enhanced features to it from the accident.
Yeah, with the new headlight casting. So that's really cool. And that, to me alone, makes it, it's like, well, if I can never get it to run right, it's a great shelf piece.
Well,
but it'll run right. Mark my words, it will work. It will run right. So anyway, with that, I know we're running a little longer than I wanted to, but so we've got some shows coming up. I know it's been a couple of months since we were at the St. Louis RPM.
Right.
So we've got the Colorado RPM coming up, which is in Greeley, Colorado. That's the end of this month, and the end of September. So September 27, 28. If you're not signed up for it, be sure to come up and see us. I'll have some new projects up there with me to show off, and I hear you're coming up, and you're going to bring something to show off as well.
Maybe a few more of these, some Jeep 15s. Possibly an NW2.
There you go.
With maybe Blue Nami 1100 in it. We'll see.
Yeah, we got a great lineup of clinics. We've got 3 clinic rooms, and this year we're having, and I say we, meaning because I somehow got put on the board So I'm the clinician.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that arranges the clinics. So
Yeah.
we've got a great lineup of clinics. We've got lots of tables for you to put your models out. We've got a great series of vendors. I saw Katie's coming.
All right.
So I'm excited about that. We've got Rapido coming back out, Intermountain. Of course, your favorite sound decoders, SoundTraxx.
Right. We'll be there. George will be there. I'll be there, walking around.
Yeah. He's basically going to be
Free.
himself and free.
Yeah, I'll go talk to Michelle and hang out with her, see how she's doing.
There you go.
Go see the museum.
And then after that, we've got Train Fest coming up November 1st, and that's going to be here before we know it.
November 1st and 2nd.
Yep. So we've already booked all that stuff, so we're looking forward to that. And as soon as we get done shooting this, I'm going to move all this crap out of the way and set up the booth. So the next podcast, you may actually see us in front of our trade show booth.
Yeah.
Because I don't have, I got to leave it up for a couple of days to test it out.
Yeah, so I can show me how to put it together too.
We got to put it together, and then we also got to decide where everything's going to lay out. And yes, we're looking at that almost 2 months out because we got to make sure it's packed correctly. We got to make sure we've got everything we need, fix or repair, replace anything that's causing problems, stuff like that. So really excited about Train Fest this year. It's still in the Baird Center in downtown Milwaukee. It was actually a really nice venue last time, I thought.
Yeah.
It was great. It is on the third floor, but there's escalators and elevators to get you there. So it's definitely going to be a fun show. Really looking forward to that.
Likewise.
Next up on the docket is we actually have a new Blue Nami app for Apple. It's coming very soon. It's going to be basically paired to match exactly like the Android app. And if any of you guys have the original Blue Nami app in Apple, you'll notice that the latest update showed it become Blue Nami Classic, and that was kind of a indication that we've got a better version coming. I know the folks at Blue Rail Trains have been working really hard on this. That's what Tom and I both have on our phones right now is the brand new version. There's a lot of cool stuff in it that I'm really excited for, including things like copy loco. So when you get your second locomotive, your second GP38 done and wired up the same way, you just hit copy CVs to loco, boom. And other than address, you've got two matched perfect locomotives.
Yeah.
The app knows that, okay, we're not going to change the address. We're not going to match the address, so it does everything but the address. So all your settings, adjustments, function mapping, light assignments, light settings, everything matches up exactly, and you have that in about 30 seconds or so, maybe a minute.
Yeah, and then like the number boards, ground lights, when you rename that on your menu, that stays on there too.
Yep, it
does. You don't have to change it every time. Now you just lock it, and then like when I fired this up today, I did this 2 nights ago. You can see I don't have to do anything. Just turn it on.
And all the everything's labeled there. And you can customize this because, like you can see on mine here, and I'll just shoot a screenshot really quickly so you can see it. But the screen on here where my steam engine is, you can actually see that some of them I actually have blank. So if this function doesn't do anything, I just leave it blank because there's no sense. And you see 2 of them on this screen right here. But then when you go over to the other, we've got, I've got more of these, but then I've also got my lights labeled as well. So
you guys upgraded that too because the new app has a separate setting for manage function panel, whereas before you would slide over on the screen. Now you can go to this panel right here, and it's bigger print, and the bigger the phone, the bigger the print, and then hit the edit button and then type it in instead of having to swipe left or right like the Blue Nami Classic.
Mm-hmm. So really excited about that. If you have any interest in looking at that, shoot us an email to support@soundtraxx.com, and Tom will get you instructions to if you want to try out and play with the new version before it's publicly released. We can certainly get you some information on that. So, well, we're in September already, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, it's just gone like crazy. Where'd the year go?
Yeah. I mean, I took a week of vacation in August, and I don't feel like I ever worked in August. It was just so fast.
Yeah, well, you traveled a lot too, though.
I traveled most of July, but August I was here, and it just felt like August just whizzed by. Like, wait a minute, what happened? But we're in September, so with that, it's time to head in. It's time to work on your model trains, get them ready for those op sessions. Tune up your engines, start looking at Blue Nami, and get you some free wireless throttles with your guests coming over. The good thing is that, with this, we have some things out there that are designed to help you out. We've got on our YouTube channel, you can watch the Rehab My Loco series. If you haven't seen that, that's actually been a very popular series. I've had a lot of people calling in and asking further questions and asking how to
Parts
do this,
list
that.
and methodologies and things like that. And yes, they're it's been hugely or widely successful.
Yeah. So we've actually got that series on there, and that basically will take you from, like, say, an Athearn Blue Box, not a Blue Box, I'm sorry, Athearn RTR,
right,
which is a good model to start with.
Excellent model.
But we add a lot more details on it to elevate it that little bit. When I show you step by step, we break it down to the complete, all the way down to the gears. We then add some detail parts. We prep it up for lights. So all these lights that Tom's showing you here on his Jeep 38, we show you how to do all that. And then basically from there, then part 4 is putting a decoder in. And as Tom mentioned earlier, we've got part 5, weathering, coming up, which is really a bonus side. So hopefully this turns out well and I don't disappoint you.
Oh, I'm waiting.
But it looks good
sure,
so far.
I'm confident it will.
And I'm showing a picture of it as it exists at this moment in time prior. So hopefully you guys can see that on the video side. And if you're in audio, well, then you'll have to tune into the YouTube channel to watch part 5 and see how it looks.
Yeah, because the video will come up shortly after the audio is released.
Of the podcast.
Of the podcast, yeah.
And then the video of the Rehab My Loco, it will fit in the next few weeks
on our page,
on the YouTube channel. Yeah. So, well, anyway, it looks like we've covered a lot of it. We've actually gone a little longer than I wanted to initially because I'm actually late for a meeting. So hopefully this was entertaining for you guys and showed you some cool stuff. And we're having fun. We're having fun with trains, and we're here to help you any way we can to help you have the most fun with your trains as well. And with SoundTraxx products, of course, we certainly believe in those. That's why both of us are wearing the purple shirts.
Yeah.
And if you want to get your very own 35th anniversary show, what did I just say? Shirt. Can't speak. First day with my new mouth. Yeah. But if you want your 35th anniversary shirt, supplies are low. We are getting close to running out, and these are printed just this 1 year because next year will be 36 years.
Right.
There's no sense to keep printing shirts.
No, so once they're gone, they're gone.
Make sure you get that at the website, SoundTraxx.com. Get your shirt. And we've also running a promo for hats this month, too. So be sure to check out the newsletter. If you're not on our newsletter, why? But make sure you're subscribed so that you can also get the official announcement when the Blue Nami 1100 hits. If it hasn't hit by the time this is published.
Yeah.
I know it's imminent, so we're looking at it any time. I noticed some of the part numbers are actually starting to fill into the accounting system.
Yes, they are. And N-scaler is just a little longer, and your train is going to come into the station.
Yeah, we're looking at shipping these probably mid to late September. So
and maybe something else with it that might go along with it.
Maybe we'll have to wait and see what the announcements are.
Yep.
But,
so, like George said, tune into our website and sign up for our updates.
Yep, sign up for the newsletter. So with that, I think we'll call this good. Certainly had fun, enjoyed it, and I got to go back to the workbench with this bad boy.
Yeah,
but we'll get it running. Yeah, we'll get it running.
Well, we need to do an update on it, so when he does, because he will get it fixed, then it can come back and we can watch it in all our glory. Yep. Just glide down the track.
Just glide.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, that's everything we've got for today. Thanks for tuning in. This is the SoundTraxx Soundbites podcast. This is Train Talk from Milepost 141 with George and Tom. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you. See you next time.
Bye now.